We begin tonight with breaking news and update. The case of a police shooting of a Cottonwood Heights man has now been changed to not justified.
Yeah, the DA's office changed course here, ruling the officer was not justified in hitting Zane James with his car before then that shooting happened. This specialist Matt Rascone has more. And Matt, this does not change the initial findings in this case.
Yeah, that's right. Mike and Deanie, today Salt Lake District Attorney Sim Gill told me that the officer was justified in shooting Zane James 4 years ago, but he was not justified in his use of force leading up to that shooting.
Nearly 4 years to the day after Officer Casey Davies shot Zane James twice.
When we originally screened our case, we didn't have that information.
District Attorney Sim Gill says Davies was not justified in his use of force before the shooting.
It was never presented. We never had it.
In February, Gill's office reopened the case.
This is the first case in 12 years that we've reopened.
Because he said they got new information that in a police pursuit before the shooting, Davies used his patrol car to hit James, who was trying to get away on a dirt bike.
We couldn't find any basis of why that use of force would have been justified.
James' family has argued the city withheld that information about the crash. Gill says they re-interviewed witnesses, attempted to talk to Davies, re-examined the car and the street, and found evidence of a crash, but no evidence that James posed a threat that would justify hitting him with the car.
So it came down to, can we meet the elements, and do we have sufficient evidence? What can we go into the court with?
But Gill says their investigation does not mean criminal charges for Davies.
We didn't have sufficient evidence to get there. That was the challenge.
The attorney for James' family says the DA's findings vindicate Zane James. Still, Gill reiterated what his office has said since October 2018, that Davies was justified in shooting James, who was later taken off life support.
The decision to fire that weapon was separate from this use of force, and so it did not ultimately alter our original finding.
4 years later, James' mural remains up here at Salt Lake City at this building. The case is closed for the district attorney's office, but the James family attorney says the public has yet to hear the complete story of Davies. He says we will look forward to the day we will present all of the facts to a jury of citizens, speaking of their civil case.